I'm going to make a very simple Victoria sponge sandwich. Simple for me. Might not be simple for some people, but if you follow this it should turn out right. To start off with, I've got 243 grams of beaten egg, and just before the shitstorm kicked off I had bought a load of stuff in for making a wedding cake, which then didn't go ahead. So rather than waste the eggs, I broke them, beat them, put them in bags and froze them. I'm told it works, we're going to find out. So this is defrosted beaten eggs, and they weigh 243 grams, and that's the important thing, is weighing the beaten eggs, because that's where I'm going to get the rest of my measurements from. So, and that's approximately what you want, anything between 243 or 240, 320, obviously the more the bigger. Anyway, you've got the beaten eggs, you've got the Stork, got the vanilla essence, vanilla paste, vanilla pods, vanilla, however way you've got it. Icing sugar, castor sugar, self-raising flour, electric mixer. Not what everyone's got, some people just have to like use a wooden spoon or handheld, whatever you've got. Parchment paper to line the tins, spatula, measurement. So to start with, going to grease and line the tins with a little bit of butter that's been left to come to room temperature, so it's nice and soft. And just grease the tins up. Like that. Okay, over a sink, put a bit of flour into your greased tin and just take it round the tin. And just knock out the excess. I know that was wasteful. Okay, so just pop one of these in just because it's easier to get it out. Okay, now pop in your mixing bowl on the scales. Make sure it's at 0 and add whatever your eggs measured. So in this case it's 241. If you think my face is a bit red, it's because I was out in the sun all day. Right, that's 241 of Stork. 0 the scales again. Remember to 0 the scales. Right, and 241 of the castor sugar. Or whatever your eggs weighed. Oh, a bit too much. $242. Not that bothered. Okay, now you're going to beat those two ingredients together until they're nice and pale and fluffy. And if you're using a wooden spoon, good luck with that. That reminds me of my school days when all the kids who were good at it got like really white buttercream, and I lost the will to live after like 3 minutes. Never really achieved anything. Okay, so I'm going to pause now while this machine does its thing. Okay, so what that's achieved is class SWAT standard. Nice and pale and fluffy. So now the egg weight, 241, you want as self-raising flour, This is no need to sieve. I just don't think it hurts to sieve it anyway. So my bowl's on the scale, my sieve's in the bowl on the scales, and then I press 0 so there's no weight on there. Just checking. Right, 241 grams required. You're more in control if you're just bashing it against your hand. And so as you see, it's no sieve flour, but what you're not trying, it's not to get the lumps out to sieve it, it's to put air in it. And Mrs. Arnott, my cookery teacher, never explained that. So she used to sieve her flour, and then when she got to this stage, she just used to turn it up and throw the lumps in. I used to think, why is she doing that? You've gone to all that effort to get the lumps out, now you're just tipping them in. Anyway, you don't need to. So that's lovely sieved flour there. Ready for the next bit. You're now going to put in eggs, flour and vanilla essence. So on nice and slow, hopefully it's not too loud. Start adding the eggs slowly, just a little bit at a time. It's really snotty from being frozen. Now what you're doing is making sure that all that egg mixes in. You can't see the egg before you add the next lot. And now you're just going to pop in just a little bit of flour, because that'll stop the mix from curdling. And some more egg. It's like, can't really describe it, but at the end of the day it's only frozen eggs, so it should be okay. And a tiny bit more flour. If the mix curdles, no one's going to die from eating the cake. But what can happen is, if the mix is curdled, it'll be all greasy at the bottom. Because curdled is split, so basically, a bit more flour, a bit more gunge. Make sure that the eggs are gone before you pop the flour in. Nearly there. Do you know what I forgot to do? What I've absolutely forgot to say? Preheat your oven to 175. That's fan. If you haven't, you might want to do that now. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that bit. Flour, last bit going in, I would have thought. I once said, my mum said, can I help? I was like, yeah, can you just put the eggs in? Don't worry, just put them all in at once. I didn't think I needed to tell her I had one of these on it. So she got a jug full of eggs and poured, and they went on there, down there, and across the floor. Right, so that's the eggs mixed in, and now I'm just going to dump the rest of the flour in. It's going to be easy if I take the bowl out. I mean, I usually do, so. rest of the flour, in it goes, and vanilla essence. Now, how much? Maybe about a teaspoonful. This is vanilla paste. It's quite strong, but I never measure it normally. I just normally just chuck it in, so no idea really. There we go. There's lovely. Okay, now you just want to fold that in, so it just needs to be in and no more. You're not going to mix it in any great depth. You're just going to do enough to get the flour incorporated. If it looks a little bit too thick, you can dump a bit of milk in, but if you're not sure, if you don't know if it's too thick or too thin, don't worry about it. Like that. And that's in. It's done. So, I hate waste. I hate watching cookery programs where they would just take this out and put it to one side, where it's got at least 5 mouthfuls of cake on it. Why would you waste it? Okay, just doing a final check if you are using an electric mixer. If you've done it by hand, then it won't matter. It's very much more yellow than normal. Okay, now just pop it in the tins, half and half. That's up to you, your judgment really, you'll see. You can weigh it if you really want to. What I'll do is I'll get it put right at the start of the film to preheat your oven, otherwise it's not fair. Because actually once you've made up a cake mix, you don't really want it sitting around for any length of time. It needs to go in the oven as soon as possible. Okay, spread it round. It doesn't have to be even, equal or pretty, because the oven is going to sort that out for you. That one just feels like it's got a bit more in it. There we go. Going to wash my hands and then I'm going to pop them in the oven. This is what we call an oven where we cook food. So I'm just going to pop those in the oven, middle to low shelf. There we go. For approximately 25 minutes. See you then. Check for that. I actually think that wants another minute or two. I'm going to give them another 5. Just as I took the one on the right hand side out, and just wasn't too sure. It's just a little bit. That's got about 5 minutes on it. Okay, beeping, ready. Hopefully, open the oven, and just stick a skewer or anything you like into the middle, and if it comes out clean. But another test is if it's shrunk away from the sides, which they have. Lovely. Got them out the oven, and I've got asbestos hands, I have to warn you, but you can just turn them out onto this, but I don't like the lines on them, so I do, ow, and that. Make sure if they were stuck to the side it comes away, you don't want to rip a load of cake away. I did a bit on that one, to be fair. No, it's not coming out. Try not to use a knife, you don't want to scratch the tin. Something like that's ideal. They really were fresh out the office, they really were hot, but there you go. So leave them to cool. When they're cool, we're going to make the buttercream centre and put some jam and buttercream in them.